there for Zerg, yeah. Aaron definitely has a favor.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, write it down, guys. In the bottom right, in the red.
KT Roster TY.
See, he says TY. He's not Ty. Well, same shoulder pads as life. Coincidence because they're on the same team? I don't think so. I think he might be winning this here. In the upper left, in the blue.
TCM Soulkey.
Now, in this case, no shoulder pads, but
Where'd the paint
nice.
go?
Huh?
Where'd the paint go?
Oh, my God.
Maybe he put on the
with
second
each
coat
nerd,
and it was blue!
Maybe each nerd he kills gets less and less stuff. What if by that time he wins this GSL, he has nothing on that hoodie at all?
Maybe he just doesn't even have a hoodie on at all.
Oh, my God.
Maybe all we see is his six-pack abs.
Oh, my God. Wouldn't that be great? Because, you know, there's one thing that we have at GSL. It's nothing but six-pack abs covered up by...
Well, Soulkey has 24-pack abs.
Yeah.
He's such a good Zerg.
He's got, it's something where he's got like 17-pack abs. You're like, whoa, he's got like an X. It's an odd number.
Well, we'll see how this one goes. As far as the spots go, will we see gold bases taken all? That's always a very interesting thing to watch out for.
Like this is the
Sometimes the Zerg will try to take it and just like overwhelm.
This means we usually get to a pretty tense point in this matchup around the third base timing. And usually things snowball from there.
Yeah, I don't know if Soulkey will actually go for that. Like certain types of Zergs are more likely to go for the gold, like maybe like a Life or a Leenock or something like that. But well, Soulkey definitely has his cheeky side as well.
You give me this great idea, Artosis. I wonder if we could ever get the stats on which players tend to go for gold bases on maps over others.
Leenock.
No, exactly right. He's somebody who will see the gold base as an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
He's somebody who will see the gold base and say, well, really I should center my entire strategy around acquiring this and then exploiting it and then punishing my opponent for not stopping me soon enough. Whereas so many other players, it's the opposite. They view the gold base as an unnecessary gamble, and they actually play around that. We've casted games where that gold base is there, and we've had a Zerg take like sometimes 4 bases, and actually avoid that. It's not as common, I'd say, but it's an interesting idea.
Yeah. Yeah, the gold bases are, I actually find them pretty fascinating. I've put a lot of time into like watching VODs and studying like gold bases and gold base reactions, to be honest.
By the way, we have
this is
Zerg going around here, and this is really bad because Terran's making the command center on the low ground, and even though Zerg's going to lose drones here, Queen's out, so
yeah,
let's see.
I think this is actually fine for TY because, well, first off, Soulkey, okay, he's waiting for the second one to go.
Yeah.
And then going to run in. Thing is, a lot of times when they make just one Reaper and then go into...
which was the meta last year.
Yeah. This, like, 6 Lings actually does fantastically. Like, Pool First was a good counter to this because you would do that.
Yeah.
And then oftentimes cancel it because they're building a reactor and they're like, oh, this is across the map. This sucks.
Yep.
But, I mean, he's slowing it down quite a bit, so it's still quite good. What was I talking about right before that? I had something good.
We were talking about gold bases.
Oh, yeah. I've put a lot of time and thought into gold bases, actually. This isn't really the time, though, to go into those.
I think we have downtime if you want to talk about it. I mean,
I think gold bases are actually not good for StarCraft II.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain of it.
Yeah.
I think it matters on where they're placed. I think in some maps it's worse than others. The thing is, it makes it more exciting, so I guess in that way it's good, but I think for balance terms, I think it's bad.
You have to take different angles here. There's balance terms, there's also what's good.
Excitement
for instance,
terms
like
is
this
good.
esports, right? Like, what's good TV?
Yeah.
This is great. But yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings on gold bases, because initially when it came out, I'm like, well, this is a disaster, because we're trying to learn about this game, but there's too much. I mean, it sort of doesn't matter what strategy you're doing, right? If you just get a gold base, you pretty much can't lose. Unless your opponent gets a gold base as well. Damn.
He's actually dealing quite a bit of damage here.
Nice micro, too. Even buying a few extra time with a few extra shots there. For
this
those
is painful.
That was an abnormally large amount of damage.
No,
and
3 Reapers, and he loses all 3 of them to do that damage.
Here's what I will say, though. I don't so much have a problem with the gold bases as I do I feel like we have so many neutered StarCraft maps. Just there's not a lot. I think we basically, if you look back at Brood War, there were a lot of insane maps. Maybe they were not fair and they had to be removed, right? But they were at least incredibly creative.
Yeah, well, I think that
And I understand from a pro gamer standpoint, Hellion's going to go down.
You have to be really careful, I think, because of a few things. Like, for instance, Blink, Force Fields, those are the two main ones that you really have to tailor maps. And then, like,
sure,
also,
absolutely.
you have to watch out for things like the power of the Roach at certain points in the game because
absolutely.
you can't have concaves too
Did
big.
Did he just attack his command center?
It looked like it.
Yeah, it looked like it. The command center had a little flame on it.
But looks like he's going to be able to hold on here. No problem. Not any real damage there, just a little bit lost mining time. But, you know, there's... your hands are tied in some ways. Like Medivacs, for instance, you got to be careful about how much open terrain there is to drop.
Sure,
like, look at the difference on drops on Catalina versus Overgrowth. It's like just infinity different.
In fairness, though, I mean, I think that we could at least, map makers and tournament organizers could at least try their best to do that. For instance, I'm about to blow your guys' mind with something. A lot of you guys that are younger, that aren't 30 years old and casting StarCraft, and this is all you do and all you care about. In Brood War, there were island maps. That's right. Yeah. There were island maps. Now, I'm not saying we should have, force island maps all the time, but I'm saying that made for some interesting games.
Yeah, it was definitely very different.
And I'll be critical of the scene here for a second. I'm a little bit surprised at the lethargy that we see in some locations where. No, seriously, think about this. How long has this game been out for? No one dared to put an island map in a tournament. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, really. Really, I'm not saying like we tried it. We have gold mineral bases, and we didn't explore this.
I think that gold island maps just don't work. I think there's no way because there's just no way they would be balanced ever because of Medivacs.
I think that's an issue. And you know what? They weren't that balanced in Brood War, but they far more than they would be in StarCraft II, right? I guess what's unfortunate, what disappoints me, I can't believe he didn't kill that. What I find unfortunate about this is that. Artosis, if I, put a PC here and said, all right, play this map and it's Dire Straits and you're Terran and you're against whatever race I pick, even if it's random, if I put you against random, you have a build that will automatically come out.
Yeah.
You have an island map build, right?
Yeah, of course.
That makes me sad that we don't have more maps that kind of force builds. Yes, it's not always balanced, and there's difficulties in that. But I feel like,
you have to be careful because of how big esports is. Like, too many people have their lives on the line with this. But
that's a very valid point as well.
Well, island maps, I think, is a bad example, and I think that some maps are amazing and creative, like this map.
Yeah, and this map's actually great, by the way. I'm not damning this map, but for instance, now I suddenly can't remember. Was it 815? Was that the name of the map?
Yeah.
There was a map that had a ramp that was so small that only about half the units in the game could fit down it. So it was like a half island map. And that's sort of the bigger picture I'm trying to get to is like you can really do some crazy stuff. I don't know why, Blizzard, and this is not a critique on Blizzard even, but just for instance, you look at Heroes of the Storm, what's going to be innovative about that? It's a MOBA with different maps. We don't have to just have one map. And I'll get to this in a second. So I don't want to completely ignore this game. He might actually get the tech.
Oh wait, there's a StarCraft game going on?
What game is this? So 1-1's about to finish here. I don't know how much more damage these mutas are going to do. And by the way, Terran does have the gold base.
I think we should make an island map called Don Juan Pond and have Tasis' face in the middle of it. I'm so angry about no island maps.
I'm not angry, but I want to put this out there because I feel like nobody talked about it, nobody did thing, and I think that's unfortunate because I think what makes RTS games great is that we get to get this great puzzle we can experiment with, and learn about the game and learn how it works, and that's all. That's all I'm trying to say is if you go back and look at some of these completely insane Brood War maps, you really got to appreciate the creativity there, and I wish we had some more of that in SE2.
I respectfully disagree with some of these points. I think that we have some really interesting creative maps. Some of them we hated, and some like this one grew on us.
Right, absolutely.
So. But anyways.
No problem. Agree to disagree here.
Totally understand.
Okay, so this Terran attack is continuing to move forward here. And we're going to see how much more damage he can actually do. Well, now, what's more important is not that this attack works, but that Zerg can't stop the gold base while this goes on, really.
That's really all that this is, right? Like, however much damage this does, at the end of the day, TY is mining from a gold base. So he's in kind of a cool spot. It's 3 base versus 3 base, and he has a gold, so think about that for a second. Very, very annoying and difficult position right now for Soulkey to have to deal with. He's going to have to do something about it very, very soon. Notice how many lings, how many meters he's making. Notice the fact he hasn't taken a fourth.
Yeah.
I mean, he must be going for a massive attack here.
Yeah, that's the, if he's not going for a massive attack, he's making a huge mistake here. And TY is doing this exactly right. He's got this nuisance. Like, these Marines up here, with this Widow Mine, this could not be more annoying for Zerg. It could not be more annoying. And the fact that Zerg has to have a little bit of stress about this thing going on this part of the map means that it's a little bit tougher to engage that gold base. And if he engages that gold base and it doesn't work, this game's basically done. So this should reach a climax here very quickly.
Yeah, definitely could. We'll see here. Now, TY has a huge amount of supply, as we can see. Of course, Soulkey is going to be maxing out pretty soon as well. But behind right now the Terran players, so that's an issue. Over 20 army supply down. He's got to get something done. I mean, he has a pretty decent creep spread, but...
Yeah, he got the bunker. Now, one thing that's weird about this base, the gold base specifically, is that there's like two sides to it because there's this gap that's cut off behind it, which could be good for the attacker and good for the defender.
It's harder for Zerg to do something against, though, because Lings and Banes aren't ranged. So it's kind of like, well, I guess you can go in with your mutas, but you can go into any base with your mutas.
And it's not like Zerg has, you know, Marines with stem or anything like that. There's not all ranged attacking units like Terran has. So
certainly
I think TY might just win this.
It's definitely a possibility here. He's doing a very good job so far. You know, I don't want to count Soulkey out completely yet. If he gets a nice engagement, definitely can't go his way. But right now, TY doing a counter drop. It doesn't look like he can get very much done with that right now. Soulkey making his way back across the map. Soulkey does have his fourth up and running now. Of course, again, maybe a little bit later than what you would really, truly want.
A scan here. As Terran's starting to push in, and this makes perfect sense because Terran's essentially maxed out, and that's really where this gets... It can only get better for Terran because Terran can keep expanding and attacking.
Now, pretty good engagement here by Soulkey. Going to be able to eliminate most of this army now, and even more army units coming down right now from TY. Just rallying out non-stop right now. Huge production over on TY's side. Look at that. 12 Marines at a time, 2 Medivacs, 2 Widow Mines. That is a lot of units coming out non-stop. Right now, Soulkey using Banelings even to kill off these Marauders, but he does definitely have an advantage right now. Running pack right now towards the gold.
Well, I gotta say, I'm pretty surprised Soulkey's doing as well as he's doing, considering on paper TY should have such an unbelievable advantage.
Well, he got a nice engagement there for sure. Good SCV pull once again. A lot of Banelings being used there, not really killing SCVs like they're really wanting to. Yeah, I mean, the very nice engagement was quite good. And here's another part of it, right? When that gold base dries up, if he doesn't have another base already mining, that's really bad because the gold base does dry up very quickly.
Well, we got more Banelings from here. This might be a killing blow, actually. I mean, look at the supply here. There's not a lot in the bank. I think TY might just lose his base, actually.
Yeah, it's beginning to look like it. A lot of SCVs were just transferred there. Looks like they're going to go down. In the meantime, the Banelings roll up, kill a big chunk of his army as well, and he even gets the command center. Very nicely done by Soulkey here.
Well, the drop back here, this is something to distract the Zerg to allow Terran to kind of maintain its foothold here at the gold base, or at least recapture it, I should say. I think, though, this is at the point of no return. I think Soulkey should just win this. In fact, Soulkey could even take his own gold base. There's really not a ton Terran can do here. Yeah,
well, just the supply differential right now, and economy differential is so large that Soulkey can kind of expand anywhere he wants because TY can do nothing but rally through this gold base area and try to kill the fourth. That's really his only strategic outlet right now. He can't just go for a drop or something. He'll get cleaned up. He needs to bring his full force, you know, and somehow take out this fourth.
Well, I'm trying to figure out exactly where TY went wrong here. You know what I mean? I guess it was just the engage. I guess that's like we were talking about earlier with TvZ. It's like it sometimes just comes down to like the Banelings connecting, you know, Muta's not getting hit by a Widow Mine.
Well, right now looks like he has more than enough units to clean this up. A ton of Banelings coming down. A couple Widow Mine connections, not really the best. Doesn't really matter. He just has way, way too much for TY to deal with here.
Yeah, Soulkey is just wrecking here. In fact, tearing below 100 supply. GG.
And Soulkey goes up to that winner's match. I think that's what most people were pretty much expecting. But I think TY gave him a run for his money that last game.
Yeah, I
TY
think so.
actually maxed out before Soulkey. Just kind of a poor engagement. You know, his drops didn't quite do what they wanted, and Soulkey was able to come out on top.
Wow, you can really see
he's frustrated.
TY very.
He knows he was in a good spot in that game, but you got to do more than be in a good spot, Tasteless. You got to end up winning the game as well. Well,
Soulkey's not out of the woods yet. He's got to go ahead and beat Life here, and I think the odds are, I think it's fair to say, pretty low. And I mean, we'll see though. TvZ, you know that matchup can be a little bit weird.
It definitely can be.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Mine's not shaped like a heart, but I made it look like a heart.
It was a heart?
Well, actually, to be honest, that looks more like a heart than the thing you had. I don't know where they got this thing as the heart.
Yeah, what is that?
It's not what a heart looks like.
Organ. Yeah, it's probably before they saw what the heart looked like.
That's heart propaganda right there, man.
It is, man. The heart actually looks pretty weird.
It's actually a really gross-looking muscle, to be honest.
All
those valve holes and stuff.
When we come back, we're going to have the winner's match. Happy Valentine's Day.